This is the Thurman.
Who the fuck is Thurman? Is that you?
So we're sitting around talking about dicks and butts.
Dick jokes, Nazi jokes.
Your name Thurman?
And Lala.
Religion-hating, woman-passion,
I haven't heard about those guys in a while.
The Thurman and Lala podcast.
big dick-loving fucking radio host. Thurman Lala podcast.
And it's gonna fucking start right now.
Isn't there a thing that says record and you're like, okay.
You click start
So it's
recording,
doing-
and it says stop recording, then that thing's going too. It's just, you got to have faith in these things, because sometimes it's just like,
That would suck if we did the whole fucking thing and it was just you and I.
yeah, exactly.
Not that I don't want to talk to you, but
Well,
dude,
we wouldn't
I
be putting together the effort to like make it good.
yeah, that's true. It'd be very like.
I would just we'd probably just get information out. I wouldn't be trying to think of yucks. But sometimes the computer's like, hey, remember when I said I was recording?
Yeah. Dude, I just caught a mouse.
Really?
Yeah. So
You and outside.
well, okay.
Kitty.
Let me backtrack this. So I don't know. A few months ago, maybe last winter, we had a rat problem, which is disgusting, like in the house. Like this, I've never dealt with that before, but now we're in, nice, wonderful part of Buffalo, and there's fucking huge rats, and they found their way into the house, and they were like, we have like this cool, like open little concept, like fucking, fucking little what do you call it, pantry sort of thing, but it's like just a bunch of drawers, right?
Yeah.
And our microwave's on top of it and the coffee maker. It's really hip and cool, all right? But it's also like sort of like it's got like it's grated, so it's like kind of open so you can see what's inside, and so I remember opening it one day and like fucking there was like a bunch. We had like a whole drawer full of goldfish, the wonderful orange delicious snack.
Okay.
And
for a second,
the
I
bottom
was like,
bags
what the fuck?
Yeah, like
That's
I
not where
collect
those
dead
go.
fish. I've been so bored. So
You just
like,
open
okay,
it. It's
so-
just like a drawer of like water and fish. It's like you created a
open
little
it, it's like-
koi pond.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
I've
open
actually
it, they're
successfully
all-
breeded all the ones I've started
Yeah.
collecting from the Peach Festival years ago.
To one super goldfish. But
So,
yeah,
okay,
if you open
so
the
these
drawer,
fucking-
they'd be sloshing around like when you see security camera of like a cruise ship, like during a storm, and you see like, dude,
The
it's
pool
so
or, like,
funny.
right.
You see like the dining room, all the tables are sliding, and then you
Dude,
see
that's
like
terrifying, though.
a busboy like running, and he's running the other way. It's
Dude,
fucking
that's gotta be
comical.
the scariest thing in the world. But like, all right, so remember Peach Fest goldfish, like
Yeah.
fucking die if you have to hit them with a fucking ping pong ball. It's basically beer pong for kids, right? Remember, like
Yeah.
they set them all,
Yeah.
and then so that's how you learn. That's how you get your bearings. And like you hit the thing in the head accidentally, and then you get to take that fish home, and then it almost always died.
Well, yeah, because it's got
either that night or the
severe
next
head
day.
trauma. You know what a ping pong ball do to a fucking goldfish?
Goldfish, right?
Yeah.
So like I remember I had like every year we'd bring home a goldfish and fucking it would die. It was like it was such a weird thing that like here's your goldfish and then it's dead the next day, like for years, like continue. You know what I mean? Why did I?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. Like when
It's
you,
like the
you
toy-
look forward to it and then a kid like it just ripped away from you all the time.
Yeah, like
Like,
a toy
here's this for
that just
Christmas.
breaks immediately.
Yes, exactly.
Hold on, keep talking. I'm gonna because your mouth isn't fucking matching the thing, so I'm just
no.
gonna reset. Well, no, it's fine.
We're lagging?
It's a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna create a new window capture. Most people do this, and the viewer doesn't even know. Like they troubleshoot behind the scenes. But I like to talk you guys through it.
Hey, just in case you want to start your own fucking bullshit
There you
podcast,
go.
here you go. That's
There you
learning
go.
as
There.
you go.
And now you're.
We don't put it in like one podcast, like how to do a podcast. You have to watch
No.
every single painstaking show all the way through
Right.
to be like, where was that one section he talked about? It was like
You
2
learned
hours
how
and
I
16
learned.
minutes in.
Yeah. There
Yeah,
we go.
on the fly, dude. We did a lot of things on the fly. Oh, anyway, okay.
So there you go. And now you're
dead
matching up
goldfish,
better.
and
Okay,
then,
so you're murdering
rats.
goldfish.
We had rats, and then I noticed we had a drawer full of goldfish, and fucking like some of the bottoms were eaten out, and there was just like dust, goldfish dust everywhere.
Oh fuck, man!
It sounds like a ska band.
Goldfish
so like
dust.
yeah, so
Yeah.
like fucking so we were like, and then eventually we started hearing them like in the kitchen, but like we go and like they wouldn't be there, or like one would like run into the bathroom. And one time,
sorry, it took me a minute to like register that you were talking about the snack goldfish.
yes,
So like I'm trying to put.
I already explained that.
I know, but I was fixing the video thing, so I'm putting it together.
Okay.
I'm like, wait, hold on, back
There
up.
was
You
no
had a
actual
drawer full
fish
of dead
involved in the
fish,
story.
and the
Only-
rat, and then the
only
rats got it. I'm like, that's a little on you,
what
dude.
A crazy, what a crazy thing to happen
You
eventually.
keep a fucking drawer full of fish carcasses. Some vermin might show up. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So they're eating the goldfish.
So they're eating the goldfish, and then I think eventually they got into like the dog food somehow, and like it was terrible. And like you could hear them, and but we'd never see them. And then eventually, like one time, okay, so I have to take like prescription like sleeping pills to go to bed because I've done terrible things. I've done terrible things, and like every like
I
thing
just take
in
them
my
for
head
fun.
that I've ever done like goes through my brain before I go to sleep, so I can't sleep. So I take these things. So it takes me a long time to wake
You're
up.
A human being.
Thank you, man. I feel like
because
I feel pretty good about
ridiculous, man. I've never answered a doctor honestly. I know we've talked about this, but they're like, "Do you feel any
Yeah.
anxiety and depression?" And you just want to go, "Yes."
that. Of course.
Don't you? The fuck's
Haven't
wrong?
you been alive?
Have you been paying attention? You're a doctor. Yes, of course.
Oh man, I know.
I'm a person
we've
in
been
the
on
world.
that.
Just
Well,
fucking
we can
parking
go
in the
through that
parking
again.
lot. I was ready to fucking punch an old lady in the face. Yes.
And hearing the fucking waiting room music makes you want to shoot myself.
Oh
but like,
my
here we go.
God. Rosanna. We got it.
See, the only reason I like that song is because it was in MacGruber.
It is pretty
very
solid.
well used.
I only
and it
thought
was-
of that is because at the gig the other night, the dude who was like running the sound was DJing stuff in the middle.
Yeah.
And he went home to take a shower at one point, and like they were playing like some fucking Ariana Grande song. It was like a middle school dance or something. And I was trying to figure out how to put Rosanna on because I was like, this fucking sucks. I want to play this song, but I couldn't figure it out. Anyways, continue. Sorry. So you got rats.
I was at a Friendsgiving. Real quick, I was at a Friendsgiving the other day, and there was like a lull in the fucking like the music. I don't know what happened, but I was like, play Alexa, play Low Down by Boz Scaggs. And then it fucking playing Low Down by Boz Scaggs. And then it went down, like it went, on, and everyone was just like,
like you
I don't
whispered
know
to it.
what it was. It like hit a nerve with everybody, but in a good way, All right, so
Alexa,
anyway,
we're about to turn this motherfucker out.
she already knew what I was gonna ask. Like, you know what I mean? She was just like, oh.
Alexa,
Well,
you
low
know
down.
what to use. Wink at her. She's like, I can't see that. I'm
You must mean Low Down by Boz Scaggs. So we fucking I don't know why, that was just a random thing. I was trying to be funny, and then it actually like slapped, like, and everybody was
Yeah.
fucking just grooving, dude, and talking about the song, like, oh
and,
yeah, but
I should put it up. I did that acoustic gig at the Drug the other night, and I played "Daydream Believer" by the Monkees, which
shit.
is a fucking all timer. And I
yeah,
remember being like in the back of the Jug at the picnic tables with Colleen, and your brother Andy and Lee, and we were just talking about music and shit. And I'm like, "Yo, Daydream Believer, Davy Jones." I know I sound like Marsha Brady, 'cause
Yeah,
that's who she
right.
was in love with. Girl, look what you've done to me. But
dude,
dude,
those Brady Bunch movies are underrated. By the
we
way.
watched the other one the other night. It's fucking hysterical.
They're fucking fantastic.
It's so funny. But fucking Daydream Believer. Cheer up, sleepy Jane.
yeah, the harmonies and
It's
everything. They're
so
so fucking great.
good. And I like made a speech at I was like, this song fucking slaps.
Did you say that before you played it?
Before and after.
I just want you guys to know that this is one of the
We're
greatest
about to
songs
turn
ever.
this I know we're having chill time here, but get ready to fucking rage. Captain, hit the strobes. But, dude, it's such a dude, it's a great song. It's just one of those
It's
British
amazing, yeah.
It's one of those British songs that just has like, like so Sally can wait. Like one of those
Right.
just huge, you picture a soccer
sing,
stadium
yeah,
of
yeah.
everybody singing it.
Yep.
Like two shirtless guys who were just fighting are now like arm in arm.
That, you know what that reminds me of too, that British thing, that Eleanor, by the Turtles.
Yeah.
Eleanor G, I think you're swell. Dude,
Yes.
and then the drums like boom, 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 boom,
Yes.
boom, boom. Dude, it's fucking that song.
That's you know what? Good call.
Pirate Radio
Yes.
had a great soundtrack. And I used to love that movie, and I watched it with Kaylee, and she has a knack of like finding like the worst part of the movie and then pointing it out.
It's
and being
got to
like,
be a
I
chick
forgot.
thing. Lee does that too, and she's ruined. So
Yeah,
many
no, but like
fucking movies.
Lee has yeah, you're right. I think we need them in our
critical
lives because I'm
thinking.
like, pirate radio is the greatest, and it was cool. But then
It's
at the end,
cool.
when like Philip Seymour Hoffman is like drowning, and then like everyone's like, oh my god, of course he's not gonna drown because he's Philip Seymour Hoffman, he's the star of the movie,
No.
and then he comes up from the water, he's like,
Yeah,
rock and roll. I was like, fuck you. The whole movie was
It's
rock and roll. You
corny,
had
yeah.
to say it. You had to say it. Like,
There's just so many good
on.
parts, but there's mad corny parts. Same
and
thing
I never
with
because I'm watching it by myself. I was probably on my fucking phone the whole time, and I'm like, wow, this movie's amazing, and it
'Cause
does make
the
you feel really
soundtrack
good
is
about
amazing.
classic. Dude, it's amazing, and
Yeah.
like the performances are fucking hilarious, and like everyone's great.
dude, the Christmas
and the
scene.
chick is so hot too.
Yeah, the Christmas scene of like the boring people.
Yeah.
Remember when they have like the little thing that they pull and it like pops, and the
Yeah.
wife is like, oh, like it's like too much for her. Like she's
The
like,
one guy-
I think that's enough
I've
fun for
seen him
one
in,
day.
like, a million things, but he was talking to the new kid. He was talking about the cook, the lesbian woman or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah,
and he was
yeah.
asking what he's like. She has lesbianic tendencies.
Yeah, it's that dude. Yeah. Because I think it's a British movie.
Yeah. Oh,
So
totally.
it's Philip Seymour Hoffman's like the one American. They're all British.
Yeah, he's the
you
cool
know.
one.
It was
yeah.
called like there's two versions. There's Pirate Radio, but then it's also called The Boat That Rocked.
What do you
which-
mean?
There's
Like in different countries?
yeah, like it's got different titles.
Oh, okay.
It's called The Boat That Rocked, which is a really shit title.
That would be like the book version.
Yeah.
And then you know what I mean?
Maybe it was
Like,
a book
and
because
then-
I know it was like a true story kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it
Well,
does.
no, it's based. That's the cool part of it is that it's like it's anyone's never seen this movie. It's
Yeah.
fucking in the '60s, right? The British like weren't playing rock and roll music. It was like kind of outlawed on
yeah,
normal
Parliament
radio.
like outlawed like pop and rock and roll and all the bad
because that's what the
shit.
British fucking do.
Because it was corrupting the youth.
Yeah, of course. And then
Yeah.
so they would have these pirate radio stations like literally on boats, like in the fucking off the coast,
Yeah.
and broadcasting all these like the Who and fucking
Yeah.
everybody
The
like the
Kinks
shit
and
we were just
shit.
singing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from
like-
international waters.
Yeah.
So they
and
could do
was,
it.
And then eventually they caught on to it, and the whole story is them like
Yeah.
the FCC or whatever the British version of that is. Fucking
Those two
who's
lame
such a good
dudes.
prick. What the hell is his name? Kenneth Branagh? How do you pronounce that guy's
I don't
last
know
name?
any of those British dudes' names. We just watched all the Harry Potter movies, and it's the same cast. It's all the same people. It's all like as the Harry Potter movies go, more and more famous British people start showing up.
They really did the greatest job at picking who's who of British actors, and
You know who
they
else?
were all in those movie.
In I want to say it's the third one, the Prisoner in Azkaban or whatever. In the
Yeah.
in the beginning, there's like a panning shot going through the bar. Like it's when they're just establishing Harry escapes his fucking shitty fat family, who I don't know why he keeps going back to them.
He has money, like he has.
Every year he just goes back and like, we hate you. He's like, we hate you too. Let's fucking.
But he
listen.
has tons of. He's rich in
Yeah,
the
he's got a
wizarding
big
world, but he
pile
has
of
to
gold,
keep going
yeah.
back to fucking England.
live with these
for
fat
some reason.
fucks who hate him and don't want. It's weird.
I don't get it.
It's good. It starts with revenge because every movie starts with you hating these people, and then he does something hilarious to embarrass them and ruin their
Right.
fucking day.
You know,
So it's
yeah,
good.
great.
So it's
Yeah.
satisfying. Anyways, so he's in the fucking bar and it's panning over, and there's a guy sitting there reading a Stephen Hawking book, and he's stirring his tea like with his magic. He's just going like he's not touching the spoon. He's just going like this, and the
But
steve's
it's
turning.
It's turning. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's Ian Brown from the Stone Roses. That's
Really?
the lead singer of the Stone Roses.
What?
Yeah.
They even grabbed him?
He's
Like,
friends
of all-
with the director.
Well,
I read
I'm
it. Yeah,
I'm sure. What the hell is his name? He did a lot of cool shit. Sort of.
it wasn't Chris Columbus. It was when
No. The third one was the guy who did Children of Men. I think.
he's got a cool name. It's like
Something.
fucking-
He did that shitty movie Gravity.
Yeah.
But the one movie I love by him is Children of Men with Clive Owen.
Fucking banger ass
and
movie.
Michael Caine, dude. Kaylee hated that movie. I don't
Really?
understand how you could hate. Yeah, that was the one I was so excited
We'll
to
get
show
back
her.
to we got to get back to her ruining Pirate Radio. But Lindsay said, Lindsay's always said she's like, you're like Michael Caine in that movie. Me.
You?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty cool compliment. He's like
Yeah.
the best part of that movie.
because he just like lives off in the woods, just like has weed, and he's just like, there's this whole war going on in the world, and he's like, I'm not participating.
And then when
in
people
this
like, if the
shit.
police come to your house to like warn you about like not letting people park in your lawn for fucking art park, you just like pull my finger.
Yeah, that's cool. He was a pretty chill dude. Didn't he have a cool chick too?
Well,
Cool.
she was like invalid.
Okay, I
Right?
don't really
Wasn't-
remember that
or-
movie.
His wife was like, she was tortured by the fucking government or something. She was, yeah. Remember, he had to take care of her, so it was just him growing weed and hanging out.
Yeah,
No?
I have a really rosy memory of this movie. I haven't seen it in a while.
I don't know. It's a great fucking movie. If you
Yeah.
haven't seen this, now we're on the discussion of
Anyways,
British movies.
yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
so like,
So you're watching
basically,
Pirate Radio.
was fucking fantastic, and then we get to that rock and roll
Yeah,
part,
that's
and then
corny
she's
as
like,
shit.
then she's just like, it ruined the whole thing. She was like, it's dumb. She's like, that was dumb enough to ruin the whole. And I was like, okay, I get it, and like.
Because the whole thing
Yes.
is they're fighting for the fucking spirit of rock and roll. They're fighting this rock and
Right,
roll
right.
battle, and then at the end, it's
But did you actually have to say that? You could have just had him come up from the water, and
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Yay!" And that's fine because the whole movie is rock and roll. Clearly, everyone is for.
and also the
on
whole
the
movie
boat.
is him talking about like him being fat. So he would come out of the water and be like, "Fucking somebody save me! Give me a cigarette!" Yeah. Just coughing up fucking shit. He's not gonna come out triumphantly.
like that's what
Yeah.
he would be like.
So she's not
Yeah,
wrong with that because
No,
But I also am not gonna
But it
let.
kind of put me in my place too. Like
Yeah.
when I'm like so like straightforward, like this movie's awesome, and then someone brings out the one dumb part of it, I'm just like,
Yeah, but I'm not gonna let like one dumb line ruin like there's a
no,
lot of
and
good
it,
shit.
it didn't. But I was
And
like, ah,
the
fuck.
soundtrack is banging. I'm gonna have to put that in the back of my head, like at set break one night. Just play it. Just go to YouTube
Dude,
and play
it's,
the
it's
soundtrack.
incredible, man.
When
It's so good.
the girl that the one guy wants to lose his virginity. If no one's ever seen this movie, sorry. The young kid is gonna lose his virginity to this chick, but
Beautiful
then she ends
girl,
up
yeah.
going and banging the fat guy, Nick
Yeah, yeah.
Frost, because he's like a famous DJ.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's sad, and they're playing that Leonard Cohen song. So I actually added that to my acoustics. I love that song.
Dude, Leonard
It's
Cohen's
so
the shit, man.
long,
But it's tough.
Marianne, it's time that because you have to. You're talking everything like this,
Right. But it's
Everybody
probably
knows
easy
that the
to sing.
dice are loaded. Everybody knows that the. I forgot. But it's the scene is just him, and then there's the one nerdy guy, and then there's the other nerdy guy, and like they just sit silently while this song is playing, and like the guy like puts down some tea and biscuits, and like. They're eating, they're sitting there, and the one kid's sitting there.
Sorry, I'm
feeling,
old. I have to
No,
put a
you're good.
pillow behind.
Yeah. He's sitting there feeling sorry for himself, and then they all just eat tea and biscuits and like smile and like they hug each other like, and there's no dialogue. It's just that song's playing, and they cheer the
Right.
kid up after he gets his heart broken. It's a beautiful scene.
It
So
is.
the Philip Seymour Hoffman saying one dumb thing is not going to take away a lot of the good shit. Lee, I mean, we've talked about this. Superman. One of the
Which
greatest Americans. It's just Superman in general.
Oh,
One of the greatest, American folklore mythology.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
fucking Superman. And she's like, all right, if his dad, Superman's dad, Jor-El, right? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Superman was Kal-El, whatever, on Kryptonite. He's this fucking genius. He's a scientist, and he's been telling them for fucking ever, dude, the planet's gonna fucking blow up. We need to get the fuck out of here. And they're like, shut up. And he's like, we gotta go. And he's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, we're getting out of here. Lee's like, why? If he knew it was gonna blow up, and he knew they had to save Krypton, why did he make one ship, and it only is big enough for a baby, who's gonna have no idea that any of this happened?
And also, Superman Kal-El was the only natural birth, right? And on Krypton,
yeah, something like that.
And
yeah.
so, like, either he had the vision to fucking build this thing potentially to Nut and his fucking wife who
Yeah.
who pumped one out, or like, you know what I mean, or like, what was he gonna do with that fucking thing? And then
With
his
the-
wife must have been pissed because after she went through that horrible, wretched,
Yeah.
terrible experience of having a child that nobody else can relate to on the whole planet, then he's like, yeah, I only made a lift for the kid.
Yeah. He made like one of those things at the bank that shoots it out the tube and just like, wait, see you, kid. hope you figure this out when you're 12 and everything starts
she's just
lighting
like-
up and you start
She's just
freaking
like, fuck
out.
me, right? His
And
mom
then
is
they
just
stay on the planet that blows up, and then Superman just goes and tries to be a normal dude and like just brings fucking all that to Earth. And
Yeah.
she's like, why wouldn't he make like a big ship that all the adults could go on and like actually know what they're doing, not send a
maybe
baby.
he was like calculating like the genocide. He's like,
There
you know what?
was-
These stupid motherfuckers aren't going to listen to me. And it's
Yeah,
the
fuck
most
'em.
evident
Yeah.
thing that is happening. We are going to die and nobody cares. Then he's just like, you know what? Fuck it. This kid who isn't tainted by fucking Krypton at all and all their bullshit.
Okay.
Let's just send him away. And to hopefully Earth's got their shit together. And it turns out he was fucking really wrong.
Ooh, yeah. Really off of that. He's like, well, okay, hold on, wait, a bat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. She
Aquaman.
just kind of,
And a Wonder Woman, have you seen her? And none of you fuck her? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What the hell is going? What is wrong with you guys?
wait, there's a
You're the
whole
most
island
muscular-
of these bitches?
And you haven't found them yet?
Yeah. All right, yeah, I think there was some sort of passionate fucking like, you know, Al Pacino in the courtroom speech I gave her when she brought that up. Then I'm like, he was, you know, you can't just send every fucking Kryptonian out into space. You gotta, you know, with that. He said there was one line Russell Crowe said something like Krypton had its chance and we had to, you know.
Right.
But that's a
So,
little.
yeah, but that's a throwaway line.
Still, your
But
kid
at the
is
same
like.
time, it's a superhero movie. You're not going to get into the...
Yeah,
that's
she
what
starts
the brilliant thing about
poking
comics and novels
holes
are
in
that
like
they can fucking really get into that.
Yeah.
But movies is just like... You know what I mean? Here you
Well,
go, here
even
you
with
go,
the
here
Harry
you go.
Potter shit, she's like poking holes in like weird plot lines, and I'm just like, they're flying around on fucking brooms and shit, man. Like, you know,
It is what it is, man. I know.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it too, though. If it's something I really love,
Yes.
and then
you
I
want to
fucking
gut a
watch
sacred
it,
cow of a rock and roll movie, Almost Famous. is
yeah, when
fucking
Penny Lane is dancing.
dude.
That's the
We've
worst
talked about
scene.
it. It's corny as fuck.
Yeah.
Me and Kelly were watching it one day, and every time I walked by, it was just a dumber and dumber scene with a great soundtrack and some great
amazing.
moments, but like it was just a little too on the nose. It's
Yeah.
it's just a little too corny. And I guess
But at
maybe
the time when it came out for me,
of course, we were little kids. It was
like
great.
I
Yeah.
worshipped every band that they talked about, and you
Mm-hmm.
know it was a fake band or whatever. But you know, Stillwater, or what was it, Stillwater?
Stillwater, yeah.
Stillwater.
Once again,
great
Philip
fucking
Seymour
fictional.
Hoffman, pretty much playing the same guy, because he's playing like a version of Lester Bangs in Almost Famous.
Yeah.
But it's like the
okay,
same
all right.
character as the guy in the boat movie.
Yeah.
And I want to see the
It's
boat
Philip
movie.
Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah,
You know, it's
just like
you know,
old rock and roll, you know, talking about
Right.
like it all went downhill.
Well, if anybody can like make you feel something about a particular subject, it's Philip Seymour Hoffman
Ah,
just
he's great.
giving a monologue or something. You know what I mean? But
here I'll give a little teaser. Talking to our pal Joe Russell.
yeah.
And we're gonna have him on soon. This has a weird connection. Philip Seymour Hoffman, before he passed, was buddies with Louis C.K. And Louis C.K. would do like Norton and Bobby Kelly talk about it on the radio about the big Thanksgivings Louis would have. And like Philip Seymour Hoffman was there one
cool.
year, and like he would bring together all these
Ate
different
everything.
Yeah. Him and Louis did a bang bang. You know, you had all these different, like, he's an interesting guy. He's got, like, all of a sudden, it's like his friends from the Comedy Cellar who are just dirty Boston comedians talking about their balls. And then he's got, like, Emmy Award, and then, like, Edie Falco or something, like, Emmy Award or whatever. So I'm talking to Joe. I don't want to fucking spoil it or whatever, but I'm, like, talking to him, and he's like, I got to get on your show soon. I had Thanksgiving with Louis. Sorry to fuck. I didn't want to.
Okay,
fucking
no, that's fine. That is just
leave it
enough.
there.
That's the
That's
tip,
just
just
enough.
to see how it feels, and
just the
we
tip.
will go from there. That is pretty cool. I'm
Because
excited to
if
have
you
him back
all
on the show.
remember when we had Joe on, we were, you know, talking, and he works with a comedian named Robert Kelly, who's one of the fucking
who's
greats.
fucking
man.
amazing.
He's one of the greats.
Yeah.
He's one of the funniest motherfuckers of all time. I love that guy.
It's so natural, man.
He's a big fella, and I had some joke in my head about like
You said that on the last show, right?
In-
With Joe.
with Joe, I had
Right.
I was like, dude, I got this because he goes on Calta and Kelly, the show, and he like tells like purposely goofy bad jokes, which it's funny. Like
Which is
as
brilliant.
I've watched the clips go, have you noticed like Calta's come around at first?
Yeah,
Calta,
no, he
dude,
likes him.
he fucking hated him at the
Yeah,
beginning,
yeah.
and it was so funny. And now Calta laughs at fucking. He like actually likes him. It's funny to
I
like
know.
you watch that like.
But all the guests that they have, like if there's an extra person, they're all just shit
Oh,
on
when
Joe.
Voss
It's the
just
greatest-
hung up, Joe said
That was the
something,
greatest
and
thing in
then
the
Voss's
world, dude.
camera just goes away. He just like Joe had some joke, and Voss was just like boop, just gone. Oh, what the fuck was I saying? All right, yeah. So me and him were just talking about like doing another show either when he's in town or blah blah blah. And okay, so Bobby, fuck, all right, shit. I had the joke about his son is named Max, and once again I feel bad. I don't know the man. I don't know his family. I shouldn't be making jokes about this. But still, whatever. He named his son Max because they stepped on a scale and it said Max. Like, that's whatever the joke. Kim Congdon told that joke way better, like way well worded.
Way well worded.
Way well better worded. Way well worded. Yes. It makes sense. I'm going to break this down. It was way well worded. It's a little Wayne's Worldy of me to say that. Like, it's kind of surfer talk, but it's like totally super well worded. You know what I mean? I'll stand by that. It was just better. It was better. She told the better. She's gooder at talking. But I'm watching the Lewis roast.
You just had a stroke.
I'm watching the
Thurman
Lewis
just had a
roast.
stroke live on air.
And she does that joke. I'm like, oh shit, look at that. Fucking either Joe sold her a joke or fucking, I mean, it's not a fucking, that fucking crazy of an idea.
It's not
Whatever.
an opener or a closer.
Yeah, it's
but
just pretty obvious.
It's a nice
I'm
one
like,
to throw in
I
there.
actually was like, I can't believe no one said that. Someone had to have said that, and I missed it. But also, Bobby's wearing this fucking Louis shirt with just like Louis' face on it. It's a big black shirt with this cool print of Louis' face, and I was like, fuck yeah, dude, I want to find a fucking cool Louis shirt like that. So I go do some hunting. And I find like customteesforyou.com or some horse shit, which I've ordered from like random t-shirt company. I see you get your Wu-Tang shirt. You're big into that, so like you know different spots to find them.
Instagram really knows me. It's not like I know a shirt company. There was one.
Fuck, I should have saved that. I got one of those ads that was like the whole thing was a sentence.
Yeah.
Of like, you're
it was
a rocker who's a guitar player. I'd rather be playing guitars than some fucking
You
corny
better not
shit.
fuck my daughter, or else I'll murder you.
Yeah, one of those weird.
'Cause I was born in
whole
February.
sentence, and there's like deer horns coming out of it. Yeah,
Deer horns, Irish fucking little shamrocks and shit.
You'll fuck my daughter till I've had my coffee. Yeah, one of those stupid ass shirts. But anyways,
my brothers will face fuck you.
Fucking
because I was born on a Sunday.
Bobby's got this cool Louis shirt, and I'm like, I want to find one of those. So I start hunting for Louis shirts, and I order one. It was like $18. I was like, I don't give a fuck. It's just whatever.
It's a classic. That's a good.
Yeah, and it's like this cool print of Louis doing like on stage. So it's like his torso, his head, his body, and he's got like a microphone and his hands out. He's doing.
It's like a. What do you call that? Not a silhouette,
candid.
but
it's a candid shot. But it's like a.
Oh! Is
like
it an actual photo?
Yes, but it's like I know what you mean. It's like not a
there's a word
for it or something, but it's like a highly contrasted.
Right.
Like,
yes. Okay.
You know what I mean? Right. So I get the shirt. I'm like, oh sweet, and I've sent you the picture and Joe the picture. It's fucking Louis' head is cut off like from here up. It's like they fucked up the printing on the machine. So I took a picture of it and I emailed them. I'm like, so refund or what's the deal here? And the response I got was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I can't even believe.
Hey,
what the fuck's going on?
Sorry, I'm sorry. There's guests that just arrived. Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
Who is
a bunch of cackling bitches over there.
That's not Lindsay, is it? That was
it's Kaylee and Katie. Who else is here?
But that was a bit of a Lindsay cackle, right? You can agree.
It was a Lindsay cackle. Well, they've been hanging out with Lindsay. That's what happened.
Oh God, they all sync up. Their laughs sync up.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So yeah, so I get this shirt.
Hi. It's good to see you.
I get this shirt, and it's fucking Louis' fucking top of his head's cut off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I sent him the picture, and she's like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I can't even believe this would even leave the shop like this. We'll send you a replacement right away. I'm like, all right, whatever. fucking today, the package shows up. I'm like, oh shit, that was quick. All right, they came through. They made on their word. Can you see it? Look
I
at
think it's dope, dude.
I
think it's
I
cool,
did
'cause
the
it's like,
first
if you
one.
know, you
I was
know
like,
type
yo,
of
I'm
thing.
gonna keep it and totally wear it because that's hilarious.
Now you have two.
Now I
of them.
have 2 half-a-face Louis shirts.
Give one to Pete and rock it during a froze
Yeah,
set. You
people
know?
be like, "What the fuck is going on?" And we just do the.
I think it's dope.
Louis. Play that. We have
I think
played
it's
that.
cool.
We did play that
Like,
song. It is.
You know,
It's
nobody
interesting.
has that shirt.
I have 2 of them. I'm gonna start to assume a lot of people have this shirt. I think they sent out fucking truckloads of these things, man.
I don't know. There's like, I think there's like technology where you like, there's an algorithm fucking thing where it's like you search for the shirt and then all of a sudden, like it can create some bullshit pattern that you're like, oh, that's it. That's what I'm looking for. Then they send it out to some weird Korean fucking company and then they're just like, okay, and then just fucking print it and send it, and it takes like 18 weeks. I'm surprised it took that, for
It was
you.
quick. It
took
was very
so
quick. I tried to get it one of the Travis DJ AM ones that was like the Run DMC logo,
Yeah,
but it's Travis DJ AM, and it took fucking 2 months. I had to go to the post office to like sign for it because it was like from some fucking random ass country out. You know what I mean? Like I had to go get it. And it was like a fucking belly shirt, like from Bill and Ted. Like, how he's wearing that. Like, it was like a tiny little shirt.
That's,
I'm like, what the fuck am I
you
going to do
almost,
this?
like,
I ended up making a patch out of it. I cut it and just made it like a
okay,
backpack.
that's cool. I was gonna say
So it
there's
worked.
been times where I've like either a t-shirt's fucked up or like it's just in retirement and like I've folded it and like framed it. You know what I mean? So it's that cool logo, and then I've had it. That was what I did for cheap decorations in my place in California. Not so much here.
You see like a little like half a Louis head pop up.
I think it's cool though. I
Yeah.
do. Like nobody. I mean, you know what it is, but you know what I mean.
Well,
it's like
yeah.
not any really. Well, you have 2 of them, but really, there's not too many. You're not going to see anybody
know.
else out there wearing that.
So funny. I
particular
have a
shirt.
backup. I should
So that's
bring
pretty
both of
dope.
them out one night and then like purposely spill something and be like, shit. And then go change into another misprinted Louis shirt.
That's better. That's better.
Yeah, all right. They're like, how many of these fucking things you got? Yeah.
So what do we? Oh, okay. Rats. Remember?
Oh,
Like
we
an
were talking
hour
about
ago, we
rats
brought
eating
that
the
up.
goldfish. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we had rats, and it was a big problem, and it was terrible. And I put out poison and everything, and I killed those fuckers, and it was
Damn,
it was
dude.
terrible. And then we patched the holes, and we did the things, and we found out where they were coming from. Blah blah blah. So now lately we've had mice. Like I didn't realize that Kaylee, like when I was at work, she texted
Downgraded.
me. Yeah, which is fine. Mice are cute, but still, I don't want them in my house.
Find a dead one almost every day.
Really?
Yeah.
In
dude.
the house?
No, outside kitty. On the front
yeah.
porch or the back porch or something.
Well, we've been feeding feral cats lately, like since the summer. They next door, Kaylee's sister Megan. There's this little host family of kitties that live under her house, and they're adorable, but they're wild kitties. So we're like, let's not take them in. So her boyfriend Noah built them
Ark?
like a heated but like a heated fucking kitty house essentially, and like put it under
We
the house
bought
so
one
they
of
can stay
those.
there.
We bought like a rainproof little hut that had
Oh,
like
really?
a heat pad. You plug it in,
Yeah.
and fucking outside kitty never uses it. He
Oh,
like,
really?
just sleeps in a pile of leaves. He's just a fucking street cat. Like you buy him.
Well,
nice
we
things,
wanted
he
it because
doesn't
we're
care.
definitely not taking them in, and if
Yeah.
somebody wants to catch them or whatever, that's fine. But
Mhm.
so anyway, they took care of the varmint problem, if you will, which is good because I'm done with that. I retired from that life, and so like they but since they've been not as active because it's been cold. We've had mice in the house. Like Kaylee sent me a video of like,
Yeah,
or
now
she's
that
only,
it's
like,
getting cold,
one-
they're all trying to come in. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Kaylee, I don't know, she sent me a video or like she told me one was like running up the curtains in our bedroom,
Whoa,
yeah, like but a
too
tiny,
close.
not a rat, a little mouse. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like that's too close for comfort. So then
Oof.
the other night, Thanksgiving Eve, I'm sitting at the house and I'm like sitting downstairs in the living room watching whatever on YouTube, and I see this little fucker like hop down the stairs and then just like look at me and then go behind my entertainment system. I'm like, motherfucker. So I immediately go on Amazon and I'm like, mouse traps, and they're all like to like maim and kill these fuckers, like glue traps and things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, they are cute. They're really not doing that much. They're just in my house.
They're
I was
living
like,
their
I don't-
life like anything else is.
They're
you
trying to
know?
be warm like I am. Like that's not a
And they're trying to
crime,
find food
okay?
like you. Yeah, like
And they're adorable. So like, and we have it. Like we're not the, we're not scumbags, but like, yeah, there's definitely crumbs. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna find it. So like, so I found I had to scroll down on the page on Amazon, but finally the humane traps. I was like, oh cool. So it's like this little fucking thing and like this little container essentially, and then like you put some peanut butter at the end of it, and then it fucking comes in and the trap just closes. Doesn't kill it. It's got little air holes. And I put them out, and like the other day I saw it hop down the fucking stairs, and I put one right in its path, like behind my entertainment center, and it just walked like right around it and then just fucking continued. And I was like, God damn it. So tonight when I get home from work, I'm like getting ready, setting this shit up. I have another trap set up upstairs, which is where we are right now. And so I'm like getting everything ready or whatever. And there hasn't been anything caught for days. And I haven't caught anything yet. And then I moved the trap to like in this room where we are. And then I was like, getting cords and grabbing shit, and I see this little fucker like in the trap, just like I was like, oh shit.
Nice.
And you're like, I'm almost ready to go. I was like, oh fuck, all right, because online it says you're supposed to release them like 3 miles away so they don't find their way back. So I was thinking, hey, if I caught him like a day that I have to go to work, I'll just take him in the car with me on the way and just drop him off there and whatever. But now I was just like, fuck, like the show we had to record and everything. So I'm like running down the street into the field. This thing is like shitting everywhere. It is. There's like,
Jesus.
Dude, it was so funny.
You're like looking at your
like,
fucking phone to like see how many. You're like 1.5. That's fine.
there was a few turds in there, and then there was a lot more turds after I was like running down the street with it. So like I opened up the trap and I just let it, go in the field, and I was like, don't come back, you fucker. And I like ran back in and tried to get everything ready, and then you called me, and I was like step back down. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So that was like super exciting for me. I don't want to hurt the little fuck. Rats can die. All of them
they're
can
nasty.
Die.
Mice are pretty cute. I had to fucking there was a fresh one today. I went out to like do some work on the windows and shit.
Yeah.
And there was a fucking outside kid. He got a fucking adorable little fresh one, and he's like, he's doing it to like, here you go, man. Like, you feed me, you shelter me, I brought you a gift. And we're like, thanks, I love it. It's just like,
Here you go.
Yeah.
It's better than a bird, I guess.
Yeah, you don't get too many birds.
You'd be proud of this. I remember your chipmunk struggle that you had, right?
Yeah.
My
anymore.
dad at
Outside
Thanksgiving. Well, my dad the other day at Thanksgiving was talking about he had a chipmunk problem, and he's like, they're pretty cute. They're so cute, but he's like, they dig holes around my foundation and water seeps in, and it's gonna ruin my house. He's like, so we're like, what'd you do? He's like, I poisoned them. We're like, what? Because he was talking about how cute they were, and it was like kind of his sad like psychologist way of being like, well, here's the preface, and here's what happened. And then he's like, what do you say? We're like, oh, you poisoned him? He's like, I get 18 of them little bastards.
Oh my God, like a guy in Nam. You got a head count. Jesus Christ.
I was like, oh my God. Like that's it was so funny just the way he described it. Because we were talking about the mice and everything.
He's absolutely right though, because it's like almost like evolution should just get rid of these fucking things if they're gonna fuck with something. If you're you know what I mean? If a muskrat just fucking ruined a bear's hut all the time, like muskrats would have been gone thousands of years ago.
Well, all right,
fuck them.
I get it. Like I don't want to kill anything unnecessarily because
they
still
didn't
feel
have
bad
a little
about
stripe
all my...
on them, and they didn't do that whole Alvin and the Chipmunks fucking propaganda.
They kind of the 80s ruined that for them.
They ain't singing. I remember bringing it up one time. Fucking talking about it. I was like, dude, these chipmunks are driving me nuts. They're starting to fucking try to get in the basement. They're fucking chipping all the time, making all this noise. I remember Pat Donovan's like, what are they, like, singing doo-wop and shit? Like, what are you talking? I'm like, no, and I'm fucking...
They're just being chipmunks, man.
Yeah, just being fucking
But that's
chipmunks.
what sucks about them is, like...
Wearing sweaters with the
they're
letter
so
on
fucking
it.
cute, like... Thank God rabbits, like, don't try to get in your house, because I don't know how I'd be able to, like, kill them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, when
you
it's
just
little...
have bunnies hopping behind you right now.
Yeah, well, that would be great. But, like... you know,
There'd be little.
I remember
pellets-
actually
little pellets
being in
everywhere.
Jimmy's apartment, like the first few times I ever met him, and we're hanging out, you know, smoking some weed and whatever. Because I knew he had like a cat. He didn't have Boomer at the time, thank God. Because otherwise, we probably wouldn't be as good as friends as we are now, you know. But
Boomer
so,
wouldn't
like,
have allowed it.
no, he wouldn't have. But like, yeah, if Boomer was there, and then I walked into his apartment to like, you know, hey man, I'm Steve, whatever. I would have been like, fuck this guy, fuck this dog, I'm done, and I wouldn't have one of my best friends. Anyway, so we're just sitting there like high as fuck watching a movie, and like all of a sudden this bunny just like hops in the living room and just like it's just chilling, doing its own thing, and I'm like, do you see that? I'm like, there's a rabbit in here. He's like, yeah, that's my bunny Pat. And I'm like, I've been over there a few times. Apparently Pat stayed in the kitchen. Do you remember the bunny that stayed in there?
Yeah.
I didn't. So sometimes he would let like the cage open, and Pat would just kind of roam around whenever he wanted to. And I wasn't aware of that.
That there
Then all of
was
sudden
a
we're just
rabbit.
like, yeah, we're just like sitting there like, and then all of a sudden this cute little fucking bunny just hops by, and I'm like, what the fuck? It was great though. It was like such a wonderful surprise.
Are we outside?
Yeah,
What
I kind
happened?
of had one of those weird like blackout moments almost.
Is this
Like,
one of those 3D movies? The bunny comes out of the TV.
your TV is awesome. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So I was very proud
So
that
what's
I
the deal?
caught.
So you took the mouse and you got rid of him.
I took it
Right,
outside
yeah,
and
yeah.
like whatever, and it might come back in, but I'm still gonna fill
I,
another trap, fill with fucking peanut butter, and it dumbass will probably get fucking stuck inside of it again.
My thing is, yeah, I don't want to kill him either. I look for the humane fucking traps. I remember going to the hardware store looking at traps for something, probably chipmunks or fucking mice or something. And I was talking to a guy, and there's a wall of just fucking death trap. Like it's like a fucking Nazi store. It's like crazy. It's like in Seven, that fucking shop, like the sex shop in Seven. You made this?
There's like a little outfit with like a
Yeah.
fucking sword as the dick.
Yeah,
That he's like,
right,
well, you
little
can. This is
chipmunk.
like our special one that you could use to
Yeah.
fuck squirrels and chipmunk.
It's okay if you're having a vermin problem if they're getting in the gutters.
It really works. Just ask this guy, and he's just like, they cut to this. I didn't want to.
Yeah, like it's like that. It's all just like kills fucking the whole generation dead, kills the fucking chipmunk and its fucking kids in front of it. And it's like a fucking worse shit. And I'm like, is there anything that like just a trap that's like not gonna kill him? And the guy's like you could tell like no one had ever asked that.
What are you, some kind of queer?
He never even considered it. He's just like, I guess you could suck its dick, huh? It's fucking-
Yeah, I mean, if you want to. This one will keep it steady so you can stroke its fucking dick.
Yeah,
You
I
can't
don't
do
know.
anything about it.
Hey,
Queer.
you could try to trick it to hop into your purse and take it shoe shopping with you. Fucking. But
It's got a particular pointy front end. You can probably fit up your ass real easy.
the
We sell lube in aisle 5.
the cat helps because it's like that's nature
Yeah.
doing its own thing. I got nothing
That's
to do
totally
with that.
fine.
That's
That's
just
totally
nature. I just am the one who has to like then take the shovel and fucking throw the thing in the fucking brush, and then some other animal comes and finds it.
I used to date this girl, and she lived on the Lake Ontario, and her cat, they had it declawed, but it was like an outside cat, but it was declawed for some reason. They didn't declaw it and then like leave it outside because that would be so cruel. Like for some reason they like took over the cat and it was declawed, but it liked to hang outside. So anyway, we're hanging outside, and it's like Lake is like a great idea like in your head, but in
Yeah.
reality there's like so many fucking like bugs and
Yeah.
like everything flying around, and like
There's
bats
always
too,
a
at
dead
night.
fish.
Yeah, dead fish smell like,
smells. Yeah.
but like bats at night in the summertime. So like we were hanging out, we were trying to like have a nice little romantic thing on the front porch, and like there's this bat flying around everywhere, and we're like, Jesus Christ, like we almost called it quits. It was like so annoying, like it kept like flying like right in front of our face, and
the bat's
so-
out eating all the bugs.
yeah,
So it's
right,
just
so like,
layers of issues.
exactly, but. So everything's taken care. Everything's working as it should, right? But we're just people hanging out outside, and we're like, "Oh, what's this? Let's kill it." So anyway, the fucking the cat, out of nowhere, like it doesn't have any claws, but it just jumped up like that crazy, like I don't know. It was like
Yeah.
it's all 4 paws were like straight up in the air, and it just smacked this bat out of the air. Didn't have a claw and just killed it. Like the bat landed on the fucking ground and we watched it and the bat didn't twitch. It was just out. And I was like, and then the cat dragged it away. And we're like, oh my God.
Fucking
and then it was a really nice evening. Yeah. Like after that, we were like, oh my God, thank you, outside cat. Like,
it
was a really pleasant
Terminator, like a bouncer or something.
But I couldn't believe it that it just like, it was declawed. You'd think that would be like, like a guy like getting nut cancer or something. Like he would just not have the will to live, or you know what I mean? Just like be emasculated. Just.
No,
and
this
then this cat didn't give a fuck. It just
bitch slapped this motherfucker.
Yeah, and killed it on impact. And like fucking it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen.
That's badass.
Yeah.
You know who did the same exact thing was, I think, what's that dude's name? JB Aaron, the country guy? The country singer who hangs around the jug? There was a bat in the back of the jug the night of the Village Music Fest. And we were playing the after party. Like, we opened for Fastball, and I played with Ray and Melissa's band, and then we were supposed to play the after party. And I went up to, go up to the jug to set shit up, and Harden's like, there's a bat in the back room. I'm like, what the fuck? And apparently the story was same thing. Like, they were trying to catch it, and, they flew by, and JB Aaron, took his hat off and just swapped it. And, fucking, there was something else happened, but I'm like, damn, dude. Like, he's like, that's country living for
that
you.
Is that's more that's a Youngstown bar thing for sure.
Me, I was just like, there's just a bat back here now.
One time
there's a bat at the show, I guess.
Smoking a cigarette out back of the jug in the little cubby hole was you know what I mean? Like there's that little doorway section.
A little stair, there's a stoop. There's a stoop.
But not in the stoop, in the little mid door, it would be your, you know what I mean, your fucking boot room or whatever you would call it. All right, so you fucking
mud room.
I was hanging out mud room. Thank you, boot room. We're firing on all cylinders here, people.
This chick last night stuck it right in her mud room.
So all right, so we were hanging out and it was summertime and we're smoking cigarettes, just me and this other person, and this fly kept buzzing around us. It was big fucking Youngstown fly, one of those. Dude, and it just kept it was so annoying, and I don't know if it was because I think I was gelling my hair at the time, and it just sometimes flies would dive bomb me, right? So it was doing that, and I Mr. Miyagi that shit. I didn't mean to. It happened, and I had swatted at it a few times, and it went like this, and I caught it, and there was a huge spider web in the corner, in this corner. So I fucking caught it, and I threw it in the spider web.
Nice.
And it just got stuck. And the dude who I think it was Bobby Cash, he was just like, "That was the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen." And I was like, and I played it off I was like, "Yeah, man, whatever," But I was inside, I was like, "That was the coolest thing I've ever done."
Yeah, and that's
you know what I mean?
Badass. Fucking throw it in the spider web, you just like in Star Wars when they drop Luke into the fucking Rancor pit. You're just fed it to the beast.
There you go. Yeah. Exactly, because we had I remember that spider web had been building up for a while, and the spider was again a big Youngstown spider, fucking this big, and
Youngstown
it
was fucking the island Kong was on.
Yeah,
all the critters, all the creatures are a little bigger.
Just everything's bigger by the lake for some reason, in the river. It's just, I don't know. But so I just boom threw it back in there. One time I was bartending, and there's this girl. She was standing there, and I noticed everyone was having fun and talking and blah, 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 blah. And then the fucking it went silent, and I noticed people on this side and people on this side were looking straight up, and they were looking. And I was directly in front of this one woman, and they were all looking up right here. And I was like, what the fuck? And this woman was just, talking to her friend. And it was this creepy big ass spider just
lowering down.
Going down.
On
yeah.
Her head. Oh,
and it was
man.
right above her head. And I go, and I just grab it and I slam it on the bar and crush it. And then she goes she's like, what was that? I'm like, you don't want to know. And her friend was like, he just saved your life. And
was it
so
Paula
then I
Deen?
was like, yeah, no, it was, they were Wilson people. Okay, let's just say that.
Yeah.
They were Wilson 2s. Okay.
That's why they had deep Southern accents.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
For some reason, like different pockets of towns around here, you get people like this.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It's like
No,
we're
no.
all in New York.
They have
Fucking
stars and
assholes.
bars flags. You're like,
Yeah,
what?
that's right. It doesn't make sense. You go like a few miles that way, and it's fucking Pennsylvania, and they're all like hanging out and got fucking,
Yeah.
like
Dude.
Southern fucking flags and shit. Like, and my cousin lives in Indiana, Pennsylvania, and there was fucking
That's confusing.
It is. It is. I hate that shit. It's like I go to West Texas University, Florida. You know what I mean? Like, you ever see that shit?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. But, like, so I went to this family reunion.
He lives in Hollywood. Wow, Florida. Ooh.
So, like, all right. So I go to this family reunion. I think I was like, I don't know, like 12, let's say. And it was in Indiana, Pennsylvania. And my family wasn't a part of this, but the town had a local clan, population, right?
Yeah.
And so there were like in the woods, there was we used to take their 4-wheelers, and there was like a huge, like awesome fucking, 50-mile fucking wooded, Pennsylvania, like 4-wheeling track, and it was like awesome, like go through like mountains and little streams and shit. It was cool. But in the clearing, that's where the clan used to hold their meetings and burn crosses and shit. So sometimes from their backyard you could see burning crosses. So they had to schedule our family reunion for
He had to rent the pavilion.
like in between clan meetings, had to make sure that it was nuts, dude. But like everybody there, like
in between clan meeting. Well, the clan has the pavilion on Sunday.
Yeah, on Tuesdays and Sundays, but you can have it Saturday.
Like throwing frisbees and shit. I mean, one of my favorite pictures ever was like this picture of the clan at a carnival, like back in the 40s, and they're all like on a Ferris wheel.
In hoods, but like
there's like two standing there like eating cotton candy, and like I'm like, this is fucking hysterical. And I've shown it to people who got how funny it was, and I've shown it to people who did not get how funny it was. I'm like, they're like having it's like the most hate-filled group, but they're like having a blast,
having
like
a good time, like
cars.
a picnic.
Yeah, like it's fucking hysterical. I don't know why it's just so ironically funny.
It is. You don't picture it because you picture them being like just nothing but like Hitler speeches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like, you know what I mean? Oh no,
they
just
seem
angry all
and
the time.
serious.
But like they are human beings, and like they do like to go to the carnival sometimes.
You got to break that tension.
You're gonna fucking like somebody's gonna break up that one scene or that one little clip that I just said, and they're gonna, you know what I mean? Like I just, Lala says, clan members are human beings and deserve fun. Who doesn't like a carnival? Shit. But like, okay, if they go to a carnival, like, who else is working? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they kind of stick
know what
out.
I mean? Like, what carnival doesn't have an ethnicity working that they don't like? You know what I mean? That they do like. Is really what I'm trying to say.
This is an old picture, but it had recently, a couple of years ago. Remember, like the Klan or some jackass probably like a series of fucking letters went out talking about how the Klan was gonna like have a presence at the Peach Festival or something. Remember, it was a whole thing. I don't know really the details of it.
It left like a newsletter type of thing or
everywhere,
like in people's mailboxes.
I think it was just one fucking Wilson fucking idiot in a fucking,
it had to have
you know what I mean? Like just one guy who thinks
we should have a booth. We should have a booth at the Peach Fest.
Our nation. What the fuck are you talking about? Like that's where the battle is to be fought. Yeah. That's your Gettysburg. It's the fucking Peach Festival.
Right.
It is so fucking stupid. Like we just made fun of them. We're like, yeah, please come. And you're wearing white, you fucking idiots. We're all just gonna throw fucking peach cobbler at you and make fun of you. Like, yeah, come on down.
I don't know.
It's recently. I mean, fucking the Klan just loves a fucking carnival. These motherfuckers see a tilt-a-whirl, they can't help themselves.
Who doesn't?
Like, Well, I think maybe it's because it's like they're not tall enough to get on the ride, but then they put the hat
Yeah,
on.
the hat on. Like,
Hey.
beating the system.
Yeah.
Just like all them other.
Yeah. Really beating this. Isn't that kind of what you guys complain about the other ones doing? Yeah. So
Hey,
fuck
fuck
them.
you.
Yeah. Fuck them. Fuck them. I don't know why they're so into fairs. I don't know why. Maybe they're into the goldfish game.
Yeah, perhaps. Speaking of, like, you know, like, of course, you know, and everyone knows that they're canceling everything. One of the things I'm surprised they haven't gone after, maybe because they're not like an active band anymore or whatever, but whipping posts by the Allman Brothers. Like, now there was one black guy, or a few, maybe like one or two, the rhythm section, thankfully.
Jamo. Or what,
Yeah,
what was that his name?
Well, yeah, him, and then the bass player. Wait, no, the bass player's name. Oh shit, I can't remember. This is terrible. The long line of Allman Brothers. Okay, they've always had a mixed band, right? And
in
that's
the
fantastic.
South, like back in the
South,
day, where
right.
that was frowned upon. You
right,
know what I
and
mean?
they weren't doing the Leonard Skinner fucking
Stars and Bars,
like,
yeah,
yeah, exactly. And but like the song "Whipping Post" like is. That was an original Allman Brothers song, right? Written by Greg Allman, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So I get it, but like it's sympathetic towards things that are very delicate right now. But like I'm surprised, like maybe because they're not that popular of a mainstream thing that no one's like come back and be like, wait a minute, like, and then the Allman Brothers or somebody related to the family has to come back and be like, we're gonna delete the song "Whipping Post" from all streaming platforms.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm surprised that hasn't happened.
Well, the song
and
is
also,
about like heart. It was about a woman fucking going off and fucking your friend.
No, exactly,
like,
but
and it feels as it's it's like
exactly,
it feels as if I'm tied to the whipping
metaphor,
post.
right? And that exactly. But to use that analogy when everyone else in the world, like a horrible marginalized group has gone through, I get it, but I'm surprised that it just hasn't come down because they're canceling everything for like a lot of weird niche things that you're just like, huh?
Was one I just last night I was just playing guitar and I was playing the night they drove Old Dixie Down and I looked up the lyrics and I was like, same thing. It's kind of like from the perspective of the rebels, like his brother died a rebel and he's like, there goes Robert E. Lee. Like they saw a famous guy. Like it's from the perspective of the South. And I'm like, whoa, if anyone ever reads this. Right.
But they're mainly like the band is mainly like northern dudes, right? They're Canadian. Some of them and
Robertson's
from
Canadian,
like New York and shit, right? Like
upstate, but it's like it's a song
exactly.
like,
but people like if they just read the lyrics or something, and then they're like, "What the fuck?"
It's told like, from a sympathetic portion, as if it's gonna like have some sort of effect, like someone's gonna hear whipping post.
Well, yeah,
let's go get them.
yeah. Hey. But like, how haven't like, victims of, sex crimes or whatever, like canceled fucking Sting for that creepy ass song, or Stalkers, you know what I mean?
Dude, I mean,
what's that fucking song? We did it before.
Every breath you take.
Yeah, it's the creepiest song in the world.
Yeah, I'll be watching.
Also, all right, so now there's the whole thing about everyone can, gender shouldn't be assigned at birth and it should be your choice, blah, blah, blah. So why is the big fucking thing gender reveal parties? How aren't those canceled yet? Do you know what I'm saying?
It's a bit of a inside
curmudgeon?
Out fucking it's a bit of like an inside out
same
like
people that are canceling shit and they're doing the fucking parties and blowing off fucking blue or hitting a golf ball and it explodes pink
blue.
or something. You know what I'm
saying? I think
people
people who do gender reveal, maybe they're not too hard about that. But yeah, I'm sure there's a weird like there's like a group of friends who like split off because one of them, the one guy's wife, like fucking had nothing to do, so decided to be a bitch about it. fucking he had to go along with her. She like had to like make a fucking stand so she could feel like a fucking like her wife was doing something. You know what I mean? So she had to find some bullshit to post about on Facebook and fucking make it feel like she's like, yeah, me and Rosa Parks, like fucking dorks. And like his wife, I'm sure that's happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I remember the first time, I think it was Pete Costello. I think it was Pete Costello. So I was talking to him. He's like, yeah, we're going to this gender reveal party. And it was like just when like the trans shit with like Caitlyn Jenner switched and everything. And I was like, What is that? What do you mean gender reveal party? Like a trans thing? They like come out and like they show
Yeah,
you
like who am I? What am I gonna be?
Walk in, they show you your dick,
Did
and
I
then
do it?
you
Did I
all
not?
clap. Is that? He's like, no, it's for a baby. I'm like, this makes more sense. When he said gender reveal, I was like, I never heard of that before. So
the guy, that big ass fucking cool American flag that's in the back room at the jug.
yes, that is
All right.
slowly falling in the
Falling
frame.
it, but it's like there's a limited amount of stars on it, right? It's not like all.
It's an old
You're right.
flag. Yeah, it's a historical piece.
Well, the guy who donated that, all right, I can't remember his name, and I'm not going to say it because whatever. But like he was a regular when Pete and I were regularly working at the Jug, and he was a very interesting guy, and he knew a lot about history. And Pete is one of the most factual fucking human beings I've ever met in my life, especially when it comes to history. And it's great to see him
Youngstown
talk with
history,
somebody
too.
who, but like especially that. But like to see him hit it off with somebody who fucking really gets it and like, and they could just riff and go and like just tell stories. And I'm just like an onlooker, essentially a bystander, just like listening. And it's fascinating. Then we're outside smoking a cigarette with this guy. It's like a Sunday night. There's nobody in there. It's me, Pete, and then this guy. This is before the flag donation or whatever. And we're having very interesting conversation with this guy. And fucking, he just, out of nowhere, just starts blaming the state of Niagara Falls on, N-words. Not N-words like he did something. N-words.
Yeah.
Okay? And like, we're like, both like, and he just starts this whole rant, like.
Because he
N-word
felt
this,
he was
N-word that.
hanging with you guys enough that he's like, all right, these guys
And
are
it's
cool.
just the two of us.
Yeah.
And we're like, and it's Youngstown. It's fucking, you can't hear anything except for crickets. Like, it is fucking quiet. And he's just like, and we're this and we're that. They ruined this. They ruined that. Everything. And Pete, this is the greatest answer possible. Like, this is the most like smooth, suave, like way to shut it down without like condemning this guy. The guy was just like, he finally finished his rant. And Pete's like, well, they're out there. So.
Yeah. I don't know what you want to do about that. Yeah.
He's like, well, the time has passed. Like, it's been a long time since the time that you're talking about. So it was brilliant. He was just like, what are you going to do, man? You know what I mean? Like, shut up. But like, it was brilliant. Like, well, they're out there. So,
well, Niagara Falls is
like,
also full of white crackheads too, who are, you know what I mean? It was
not
ruined
the by fucking
pigmentation.
politicians. It wasn't.
Politicians and crack. Like,
yes, absolutely.
Crack don't discriminate. It doesn't
but
matter.
it's also like a Youngstown dude, which Youngstown is very kept to themselves and don't like any outside influence. Okay,
one-stop
so
play
like,
town.
so when they're just like, read the papers and they're like, and they have this fucking opinion about a whole city that they have nothing to do with. It's amazing the things that you hear come out of people's mouths.
Yeah.
But that was like, I was just like,
that was a great way
watching him say that, and then Pete just like that dismissiveness, and but it was so factual. He's just like, well, what the fuck are you gonna do, man? Like, like you're alone here.
They're not listening to you. Like, that's like, who are you talking to? Like, when people who like, get all into that shit, like posting about it, like, who are you talking to? Like, one of them was Don, and I love Don Cheadle. You know what? I just think actors live in a very weird world. So in their heads, they don't, like, outside the gates of fucking Malibu, like, same thing in Youngstown, they read the paper about what's happening in the falls, and they're like, oh my God, it's a fucking war zone. I think that's what actors think about, like, the real world. Like, if a gay kid walks into a Walmart, they're just going to kill him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so on Saturday Night Live, Don Cheadle's introducing the band. He's wearing a T-shirt that says "Protect Trans Kids," which, of course, I agree.
Sure.
Protect all kids, especially vulnerable ones. Yes, of course.
Right.
But do you really think there was like a group of fucking guys like with baseball bats just like heading out on a Saturday night to fuck up some trans kids, and like they walked by the TV and looked over at Don Cheadle's shirt and went, "You know what, guys."
This whole thing seems kind of trite.
Yeah, I don't know. Ever since I saw Don Cheadle's T-shirt on Saturday Night Live, my whole belief system has changed. It's like they're
Shattered. shattered.
you're preaching to the choir. You're just showing like the same
To other people who
it's
think
other
like you.
people. They
Right.
don't even think that. It's just a fashion statement.
But
Sorry.
I
It's
mean,
like,
yeah, exactly. It's to promote clout.
yeah, exactly. To be like, I'm
know?
the fucking look at me, I tell you, baby,
I'm in.
Yeah,
like,
you know what I mean.
Bring it in.
But it's like nobody's like,
I don't know. Maybe somebody
maybe
near and dear to him got attacked or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
maybe
you never
I
know.
He's got his
But
own
when it's
personal
somebody who's a
reasons.
public figure like that, you're like, dude, just act. Just shut the fuck up. And I understand the whole we have a
allowed to
huge
have
voice
I don't-
because people
yeah, I don't care. He can
listen
say
to
whatever
us,
the
but
fuck he wants.
I don't know.
Saying,
You can
like,
do what like Daniel Day-Lewis doesn't have a fucking Twitter. Do you know what I mean? And he's one of the greatest actors
My
in the
whole
world. And he's
thing
an
about
artist.
this shit
Just
is-
shut up. Like Daniel Day-Lewis could be the most racist person in the world. I don't know. We
fucking
don't know.
hilarious. He finally does like a tell-all interview, and he's just like, well, you haven't done a movie in
He's
like,
like, my favorite role
6
was the
years."
butcher in Gangs in New York.
That's
It was
just
the most
me.
true to my-
That's just me.
True to my soul.
Yeah. They're like, well, you haven't done a movie in years. What have you been up to? He's like, I've been down there helping build the wall.
Yeah, I use all my profits.
Yeah.
I've been funding, Trump's campaign, cleaning it up. Yeah, just building higher walls, so they don't drink from my milkshake.
But the whole thing is like, yeah, dude, you could have, say whatever you want, do whatever you want, wear whatever shirt you want. It's just like, I don't think it's effective. You know what I
No.
mean? If you really want, it's not
to other people who already feel that way,
Yes.
and then they can
It's
repost
if
the
you
shit on
really
Twitter.
want to
and
make
fuck-
the change, it's like self masturbation. It's like
Dude,
just like
Michael
look how
Jackson
fucking
said
great
it
I am.
in 1990, whatever the fuck. Man in the mirror, dude. You want to make that change? Like,
Yeah.
look at the man in the mirror. Like, don't fucking. And Michael Jackson was the one who was like, and preaching everything, and that's great because he was the largest voice in the world,
Yeah.
and so he could change things. But also,
That's
like,
funny that it
dude,
was like the largest voice in the world was like, no, everybody be nice. Like that's
the one that everyone
that's
listens
the
to is like,
booming voice of God.
do you hear? I think what the fuck? Hello?
Be nice to each other.
Don't kill trans whales.
He's certainly, if anyone changed the man in the mirror, it was him. Fuck.
Yeah, the first take of that song was like, I'm looking at the man in the mirror, and he's just like, what? What the fuck? What happened? Who are you? Get out of here.
Like, Michael, don't
At
you
least
think
it wasn't
those...
the opposite, where like he walks past him, like he was white and then accidentally turned black somehow, and then like walked past the mirror and like shot the mirror. Called the cops. Can't find the guy. He ran off somewhere. He touched my wife.
He's changing the man in the mirror. He's like talking about changing the man in the mirror while his appearance is like going into these wacky changes. And the producer's like, hey, Michael, don't you think that's a little on the extremely pointy nose?
Yeah, that's why at the end of the song, he's just like, make that change.
Make that
Like,
change.
dude, one of the most soulful, beautiful songs in the
It's
entire world.
Still so good. I mean, we're sitting here
Ugh.
shitting all over the guy, but like still, as soon as you just like, it's fucking
So
great.
I remember I had that Black Crowes tramp stamp like in between my shoulders,
Yeah.
that terrible tattoo. So I've been in the process over the last few months getting it covered up by my good friend Kyle Tomlin, who owns Ink and Oil Studios, tattoo studio. He's fucking fantastic. I've seen his work for years. I wanted more work. Like I want half sleeves. But I have I have the Chili Peppers titty tattoo. And then I have the first one I got was the Black Crowes in between my shoulder, and it looks terrible. It's been faded. It's awful. And I got it was like 18.
Yeah, you've had it for fucking years, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. My girlfriend at the time, she wanted to buy me a tattoo for my 18th birthday, and we went to like American Skin Art in Tonawanda or something, and it was way too expensive. They were like, it's going to be like $800 in like
Jesus.
700 hours. And I was like, I can't afford that. I'm 18 years
For
old.
that Black Crowes
So-
tattoo?
Yeah.
It's
so
one
like,
color.
We didn't have smartphones because it was the time before that.
You probably
So
could have
we were
done.
driving.
It was the way it is on your back is like the wings, but it's like matches like a
like
Rorschach
this and-
painting. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you really could have done half of it and then just kind of did like a shoulder clap while it was still wet. And it
Got it,
yeah,
right.
and then just done the
So
other
like,
half. Yeah.
but it looks shitty. And it's been years, and it's always looked shitty. Like the woman didn't do a very good job. But here's the thing. Here's how we found this person.
The woman didn't do a good job. Surprise.
We can do it. No, you can't. So anyway, so okay. So
I mean, define what it
smartphones.
is. If it is a banana bread, sure.
Better than I can. So there's before smartphones, and so we had to stop at a fucking. We found a phone on the side of the road, and like a phone booth.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, like a payphone, and we looked in the fucking phone book for tattoo parlors, and we called around, and then my birthday's in the winter. It's coming up, and so is yours. Almost happy birthday to you. Thank you.
Right. That was the gig last night. Was like a Sagittarius party of all the everyone. So it was like anyone whose birthday fell in that. It was a giant party for everybody, and I didn't even know it applied to me until I like asked one of the hippie girls. I'm like, "What the fuck does this shit mean?" It was a ripper, man. That was a good goddamn time though.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. Oof.
So
I'm still kind of recovering.
This is like a 3-tiered story, I think.
Okay. So you got the tattoo. You went. All right. So you're.
No. All right, so we found this woman. We called, and she was like, "Yes, I do tattoos." And we're like, "Okay." So it was wintertime. It turned dark at this point. So we're going down Niagara Falls Boulevard. We find the address. Pull in. There's like a dog kennel and like a million dogs just barking. And we're like, "This can't be the right place." Light turns on at this other apartment, like above the dog kennel. And she's like, "Steve," and we're like, "Oh God." So I'm like, okay, and I'm just, me, like, I'm like, all right, I set out to do something, and if it's not the way that I envisioned it doing, I just do whatever the fuck I can to possibly get that thing done, and it might not be the best way to do it, but I just do it. That could be like an OCD thing or a fucking ADD. I don't know.
It's all right.
It's not a good quality.
I would have been like,
sometimes
fuck
it
this
is,
shit,
but sometimes it doesn't work out, and this is the time where it didn't work out. But the lady. She has a dog kennel. She owns a dog kennel and is a tattoo artist. Now, she is smoking hot. So fucking hot. And she's covered in tattoos. Now, I'm like, wow, her tattoos are great. She's going to be good.
Is how quickly my brain just shifted. Because she has a dog kennel and she's a tattoo artist. And I'm picturing.
You're like nasty.
I'm like, what a fucking weirdo. It's probably the apartment smells. It's gross. It's not a hygienic place to get a tattoo. And then you're like, she's smoking hot. I'm like, what a cool chick.
Yeah, what an awesome. I respect her. Love her.
Yeah, she's saving animals.
She's really
and she's an art. She's expressing her art. She's fucking awesome. Yeah.
She's a beautiful soul.
I love her.
She was really nice, but like she just massacred my fucking back, and like you can still feel the scar. Now this was over 12 years ago when I got it.
Yeah.
And like you can still feel the scar tissue. Like if you put your fingers on my back, like you fucking feel the lines. Like she dug it. Like I was like, it was my first tattoo, and I was like sweating profusely and just like. And they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Hey, guys, like this is the worst thing I've ever experienced." But apparently it's not supposed to be like that. So anyway, I've wanted. So like it didn't turn out well, and like it faded, and like it was awful, and it like was blotchy and shit. Like almost
it
right
looked
off
like
the bat.
a Rorschach painting.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not supposed to look like a Rorschach painting. Okay, so it's not good. It's not supposed to be like, what do you think this is? It's supposed to be the Black Crows. Like,
is it a pile of shit?
Yeah, I see.
Is it shitty underwear?
Is it a? Yeah. Is it a?
It's a guy who didn't wipe his ass
in a place against its will.
Butt cheeks, yeah, squished together.
So like I always.
Is it the power of a hot woman to convince a man to do dumb shit?
That's how quick it was.
Yeah.
I was just like,
yeah,
okay.
Sure, you can stick whatever you want, wherever you want.
She was so hot though. Anyway, so I wanted more tattoos, but I was so like I hated the one that I had. I couldn't get more. I couldn't have like cool fucking tattoos
Right.
and then this piece of shit on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like
you gotta fix that one up before you.
Yeah. So I've been going to Kyle for the last few months, and it's a big cover-up job. But I've been doing so. What I'll show you when it's finally done. I'll show you guys a picture of it and the process of it. But it's so it's the two of my favorite bands ever. It's Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin, and one shoulder is the Black Sabbath Demon.
Okay.
And the other shoulder is the Led Zeppelin Icarus. So it's the angel,
cool.
it's the angel and the demon, and they're both
that's
and both of
cool.
them have to be facing opposite ways. It's light versus
And
dark,
it's kind
right?
of the devil
Angel and
and the
demon
shoulder on your
exactly.
shoulder. Yeah, there's deeper
Exactly.
meaning to it. Yeah.
And in between the cover up where it is, because these are just on my shoulders now. The
yeah,
cover
but
up
the
of my
Led Zeppelin angel is still just like, yeah, she's fucking fuck the 13-year-old. It's cool.
yeah,
dude.
just yeah, fuck it, throw a fucking mud
You're a
shark in
golden
there.
god. Do whatever you want.
Dude, yeah, fuck it.
Even though the Led Zeppelin
exactly.
angel was into like some weird shit.
I know. that kind of explains me. It's like here's this nice facade, but also you are just a disgusting piece of shit. Like no matter what, here's your obvious demons, but here's this.
Here's this angel. Oh, it means purity. No, it represents a band who said, "Shake for me, girl. I want to be your backdoor man."
No, it's really the angel representing the show Angel, the offshoot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer by Joss Whedon, one of my favorite. All right, so anyway, David Boreanaz, what a hunk, huh? so okay, so but the middle, the actual cover-up piece is a combination of Black Sabbath 1, all right, the Black Sabbath self-titled album, which is like that witch-looking person in like the field in the woods, and then like that barn sort of weird, creepy, haunted house in the background, and then Houses of the Holy. So it's all that granite rock, like the steamy shit, and then there's a bunch of naked women and they're kind of crawling towards like the top. So what we did was put Houses of the Holy with the naked women crawling to the top to the witch with their weird little creepy house in the background. So that's what it's going to be.
A crossover episode.
Great. Yeah. So it's the both of them combined in the center, but like one solid one on this side, one solid one on the outside. So it's funny. Okay. So I have the idea. I'm like, it's going to be the houses. It's not even like the Houses of the Holy is my favorite Zeppelin album, but like the imagery, as far as album covers go, those two are the most striking.
It just represents the band too.
Yeah, for sure. But Kaylee was like, so I showed her, and I've been thinking about this for months, and I sent Kyle like my ideas, and he was putting shit together. Kaylee goes, so are you going to put naked little girls on here, or are they going to be women? I was like, what are you talking about?
I was going to say that my recollection is that it's like
they are
like
little
weird little.
At first glance,
but they don't even
I
seem human. They
blonde,
seem like weird little creatures. I don't know. But
no, they're human bodies. They are women with asses and things, but they are little girls. So
trying to talk my way out of it, but all right.
Nope, that's what it is. It is no, they are little girls. And I was like, it took me like. For again, Kaylee like ruining a part of a movie, but she didn't ruin this for me. She actually saved me because Kyle had actually like fucking done what the actual album was. I would have had little naked girls on my back, and like you know what I mean. Like
Kyle's like, you sure about this? You're like, yeah, dude. Why do you keep asking me?
I love this band. Like it represents everything I am. So
you've asked me that like 20 times. I don't understand what the problem is. Yeah.
What's the big deal, man?
Yeah.
So it was funny because all the times I've ever seen that album,
dude, you gotta just pay me cash off the book. You gotta pay me in Bitcoin for this. I can't be on the books that I did this.
Don't tell anyone I did this. So thank God Kaylee pointed that out. And then so him and I, we Google searched like black and white photos of like naked women silhouettes. And we came up with some awesome, like sort of similar poses. So he drew those and like, you know, and like, I'm like, thank God that we figured that out. You know what I mean? So that leads to not necessarily little girls, but so the next thing I want to do, I want to have a sleeve. I want to have like a music sleeve, and I'm going to do a horror sleeve. Two of my biggest, you know, passions.
Right.
So I'm going to have like Frank Zappa, right? And then I'm going to have Prince, which we have a really cool fucking idea, like a portrait of Prince, but it's going to be all in shades of purple. It's not going to be like any lines or anything. And then rain, and it's going to be fucking dope. We already have it like, cool, it's going to be great. But then Kaylee was like, so what else are you going to do? And I was thinking like, there's different artists that I really fucking love so much. And like Stevie Nicks would be a really cool one because she's so fucking sexy and like, and she's a witch and like all this
hot
spooky.
Stevie
and
Nicks,
yeah. Not now, Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like Stevie Nicks back in the day, like almost like Carrie Fisher's sister looking. You know what I'm saying? Like Princess Leia version Carrie, like not Carrie Fisher. And Stevie Nicks, like in the last few years.
Oh, man. Yeah. I know.
Imagine if I got tattoos of them like now.
We were talking about that one time. Something about how you're talking about the 70s and how hot Stevie Nicks was, but she had full bush. And like there was this thing we were talking about where you're like,
so when you watch them live and they're so hot, and like ABBA, right? You see the girls from ABBA and they're smoking hot.
Yeah, they were
Cher
Swedish.
and
They might have been. I think the Swedes were very
Maybe.
advanced.
But like you see like Cher, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're like, wow, so fucking hot. And then you're like, oh my god, it's not even just a bush. It is mammoth bush. Like that is the style.
Cher kind of has the word hair in her name.
She does.
But it's like, would you
off-putting.
rather hit Stevie Nicks trimmed down now or full bush 70s?
I said it before and I'll say it again. Trim down now for the fucking story.
Yeah, for the story. I'd rather go 70s.
No, 70s I would feel bad because she would have no idea what's going on. It's practically date rape. The only reason you can get away with it then is because nobody cared about that shit back then.
So many drugs.
Yes,
I was assuming she
planet.
was a willing participant. I fucking thought.
I don't think so. I think there's a lot of weird shit that happened back then that nobody fucking ever paid attention to. But what I'm saying is, yes, that would be yes, Stevie Nicks back in the day. Like, oh my god, yes, I would like to. But it's heavy, fucking sweaty Coke Bush. Okay, that is like something that you're like. Not
heavy, sweaty.
That's
Coke
gross.
Bush makes me think of our former president.
But like, salute. So,
mission
but like
accomplished.
Now, I think it would be a funnier story for me, like for the show and our listeners. That would be a much
Stevie
funnier story
Nicks.
if I went to some fucking like
Double
like some
Stevies.
convention, some witch Stevie on Stevie, dude, Stevie squared, man. Yes, that would be our album, Stevie on Stevie, dude.
Stevie on Stevie.
But like, here's the thing. So she might have like a taken care of bush now, but like she's old and her asshole is probably equally as hairy.
You think it just moved? Like an old man, like an old man goes bald up here, but his ears get all hairy.
What do they call it when animals like move from one location to another? Migrate.
Migrate. Yeah. It's like, yeah, exactly. When an old man
People do
goes
that too.
bald, no hair up here, but then all of a sudden his ears are super
It's
hairy.
everything,
You think
yeah,
it's
right.
just like her, her
Right.
vagina balded like a man. Like it's a man like George Costanza, and then like her anus.
But her asshole,
her
it's like
anus
my
is
asshole.
the
is-
fucking U-shaped fucking
fucking
hair.
Captain
Yeah.
Picard.
Yes.
But okay, so where this leads to the little inappropriate children is Kaylee was like, "Are you gonna get a Michael Jackson tattoo?" And I was like, "I would fucking love a Michael Jackson tattoo," but you know what I mean? Like, there's that weird, like, I don't know. You don't know, and he's dead now, so who's gonna fucking, whatever. But at the same time,
a lot of
the
weird
thing he's
around
done for me musically and like the joy his music has brought to my life says everything. But at the same time, like, as far as I know, none of the other people I've volunteered to be on my arm have been like so widely publicized to fuck kids. Like, even if it never was
A
proven,
fucking documentary. I don't know. Like, I'm not.
it's still
I've
weird. But
had
like,
it's weird. I mean, when there's smoke, there's fire, I guess. But I've had some, like, I've heard some conspiracy, pretty convincing, actually, like, ideas of, like, Michael Jackson was, like, they were trying to get him in the Hollywood elite, and he was, like, the one kid who didn't want to fuck kids. He really did want to protect kids. Like, that's why they tarnished him, like, in the, they made all that shit up. And all
so
the
they, like,
accusations.
had a bunch of influencers who were like, "Do it," and he was like,
Yeah. Well, the
And then they're like,
documentary
"You
didn't
fuck
come
kids."
out till like 10 years after he was dead. And whoever edited that shit needs to be looked into because it was like so like slow and sensual. And it was like, you're watching this documentary and the kid's just like, and then he made me remove my pants and turn around. And at one point during the documentary, and the whole world's talking about this Finding Neverland documentary, so I'm like, I should watch this. We talked about
I
it.
watched it too. It was
Well, no, I got into like, it was just so slow and the music was like, and I was just like, I don't need to spend my time listening to this guy talk. I don't need to add this to my life. I'm good. I got it.
I didn't enjoy myself, that's for sure.
No, but it was like edited all like slow and fucking sensually. Oh,
Sorry,
wow.
I was
Is
looking.
there a
I
candle on fire?
thought I smelled something burning because I don't want to get into that again. But I'm setting a vibe. I got my candles here, but I'm just making sure they're not setting my roof. You need to be my eyes on this. If my roof starts to go on fire, please let me know.
I thought you were just really trying to get rid of the mice. We're in the place of sound. I don't know. We land on this. We land on this topic a lot, but it's
We do well because okay, all right. It's now like it's kind of the same thing of like the devastating news of Now Cosby was convicted, right? And Cosby like had a big part of like the world's, or at least America's childhood, and like not even that, but like our
America's
adults,
dad.
contemporary fucking yeah. But like I mean, comedians, everything. It was devastating news. Now Michael Jackson, the world, right? Michael Jackson was the world, but it was never
You
convicted.
see those videos
so you
of
have
him
this
playing
weird,
those like concerts in like Brazil or some shit. It was like 800,000 people, and people are
Yeah.
fainting like it's the fucking Pope,
Uh-huh.
and it's like, yeah, like he had quite the, You're right. Cosby was kind of America, and Jackson was like the world, like when he
the world, and like so. But the thing is, the weird thing I mean, and we joked about this before. The reason that like nobody like that it wasn't like nailed down with the whole Michael Jackson like whatever happened was because the fucking music was just way too good, dude.
Yeah.
And like you know
You're
what I mean? It was
fucking
just
selling
dude, like
records,
the
bro.
dollar
Once
amount
again,
of him, like they could not
You know how much
like they're like
fucking
sorry.
money they made off of those shows. You know what I mean? When 1 million people want to go see the guy, they're like,
Now there is some weird shit now, and there's the psychological aspect where like, yes, he's been doing the star shit since he was fucking 5 years old. Like, so if you're a fucking the biggest celebrity in the entire world and like all you want to like you have all the money, what do you want to do? Oh, I want to have my childhood. I want to have a fucking amusement park and hang out with kids because all these adults just tell me what to do and it fucking sucks. And like and everyone's just trying to take money from me or fucking tell me what to do and all this shit. And you know who doesn't do that is kids. So like I get that aspect,
the innocence
defense
of it,
but at the same time
he's in
it's
show
like,
business.
it's still weird. It's still really weird.
Some of his, but when you're that guy, you have, yes men around, and anyone who's like, Mike, this is like, dude, you can't be like going on dates with these kids. Like, and he's just like, okay, have him removed, and then and then that guy's gone. You know what I mean? Were we talking about that Goliath show, the Billy Bob Thornton show on Prime?
Yeah,
It's pretty good. But then I talked about the weird guy who like had a traumatic, childhood incident, whatever, and
with
like
the mom
his
thing, right?
his therapist said to like try to put yourself there and recreate it. But he was like a billionaire, so he did build like his childhood kitchen, and I'm like, dude, imagine how fucking weird that would be. Like we have our memories, but like imagine if somebody actually for scale built like the way your fucking house looked like in like the 90s when you were a kid, and like you walked in there, you'd be like, yo, this
be amazing,
fucking crazy,
be incredible.
The same shit was
like,
on TV, Saved by the Bell's fucking ripping on the TV on the old big tube TV, you know what I mean? Like that would be trippy as fuck.
So you can get you can rent the McAllister's house from Home Alone for one night on Airbnb. It's like a thing. They limit it to one night. It's not like one person gets it for one night. It's like a new thing where
do you gotta come up with a bunch of wacky pranks to
well no, so they have shit set up like in the house that's like they have, different like funny traps and shit like that. Like it's set up like the Home Alone fucking house.
Well,
and I thought about that and I was like, how cool would it be?
You're like,
I know,
hey, this is a great plan. A fucking paint can
hits
hits you in the face.
Exactly. Or you like try to figure out the fucking combination for the lock and it's like burning your finger.
The true authentic fucking Home Alone experience.
You're like, all right, well, they're like, if the lock doesn't work, then you can go around back and get to the basement. And then it's covered in ice, and you just eat shit down the fucking stairs,
The true Home Alone experience.
But like, I thought about that, and I was like, dude, I would love that. I had this idea of like a restaurant that would probably only work in like L.A., but it would be like a big, huge fucking place, and you had like a huge fucking restaurant, like a warehouse sort of thing, but you can reserve sections in the kitchen or say dining room or living room of the famous TV sets. Like
you rebuild the sets,
yeah. So like Full House, fucking Family
You could have
Matters,
you could rent the Full House room and you have dinner at the table.
You know what I'm saying? And you can rent like
the
and there'll be multiple people in that section. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That type of shit.
Well, they actually do like events at that house, and like they filmed most of it like in like they recreated the house like in a studio, and you know what I mean. Yeah, but it's like scale, like it's scale for scale. Like that's the fucking house. Right. So like they do events at that house, which is pretty fucking cool.
But how cool would that be though? To like the fucking Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can fucking
Have breakfast
eat
there.
in that kitchen. And every house, for some reason, in the 90s,
I want a
on
Jeffrey.
TGIF
Is
had
Jeffrey going to be there?
swinging doors.
I want a slave.
Well, I don't know if they're going to get into that, but yeah, I don't know.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
I think it's a fucking great idea, but like, I don't. I think we're just kind of giving that away now. So anybody
it's intellectual property. We said it. It's recorded.
Thank you. My
there we
idea,
go.
Stephen LaBarber's idea.
Before
Actually,
we...
wait, that's not my name. I don't know who you think I am. That's not me. I haven't
In
said
case
anything
that's already an idea.
No, what I'm saying is just I don't want to be associated with anything I said on the show. That's why I said
Except for that last part. Except for that last part, that might be a good idea. Anything else, disregard.
That's totally me.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. That'd be fun, man. That'd be super fucking cool.
I think that would be so much fucking
I'm
fun. Because
interested
how
in that
many
shit.
like how many fucking like years have you spent watching these families on TV? Or like, okay, imagine if you can sit in the Golden Girls kitchen and eat cheesecake for dessert. You know what I'm saying?
it'd
Like,
be
how
sassy.
fucking cool would that be, man?
Yeah, it'd be trippy.
Like, yeah, with palm
Well, they
trees in the
still
fucking
have
background
like
shit.
the town square for like Back to the Future. You can like go on the tour.
Right,
through
so
that
no,
and
but
shit.
here's
And
the
that
thing:
shit is
those
trippy.
are actual locations, right?
Yeah,
That's what you're.
this is like you're.
I'm
gonna
talking about a
build-
full recreation of actual
Yeah.
fucking TV sets that are like either the kitchen. I think you spend the most time in TV and TV shows in their family room. So I don't think the kitchen would be that fun to sit down in. But I think if you can actually dine in the family room of like all these places, man, because. Like, you can have a ton of people in the fucking
depends, like,
Full House family
Full
room.
House, the kitchen was
Roseanne's
pretty
fucking- you know what I'm saying?
iconic
Like,
in Full House.
Imagine eating TV dinners in fucking Roseanne's living room with the
Yeah.
fucking couch and the
I think the
plaid
kitchen,
blanket.
next to the family room, the kitchen's probably like the most iconic part. Like I can
It
picture the
is.
Full
It is.
House
They
kitchen
have
and the
serious
Fresh Prince.
conversations in the kitchen, and then you know what I mean. But like, yeah, you go to fucking. Oh, I'm gonna like. Can I have a reservation for the Lanford lunchbox? You know what I mean,
Yeah.
or something like
Oh,
that.
that'd be
And you
cool,
go
yeah.
there, and like you can get loose meat sandwiches, that type of shit. You
And
know what
it's
I'm
like,
saying?
yeah,
Or
it'd be a
like-
big place where, like, you know, you go to a fancy restaurant, you each, like, you can get your own little private room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Or
that
like
would
fucking
be.
sit in fucking Frasier's living room and there's a piano player and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of thing. Like it would be so. Or like get a fucking beer at actual Cheers. The Cheers in
Yeah.
Boston is not Cheers. It's not the TV set. You know what I'm saying?
It just
Have
looks-
them hand
it's-
you a
looks
fucking
the
mug
same.
of beer
Yeah.
that has this much fucking foam in it,
Yeah.
and then you know what I mean. On that show, they did not pour beers very well at all.
Captain
I'll
was
tell
talking
you
about that last time. Or not about that, but he was talking about Cheers. And I'm like, yeah, it's got to be kind of weird for bartenders to watch that show. You know what I mean?
It's
I
a
don't know.
great show. It's one
Yeah.
of the best shows, and it took place primarily in one location. It's fucking genius. But like,
Yeah.
it really like, how could you have that interesting of a show go on for that long? And it is great. Like if you actually watch Cheers, it's fucking phenomenal. It's a
It was
great
on
show,
for
dude.
fucking how many
Yeah,
years? It's
but it's
regarded
primarily
as one of
in
the
that
great,
one
yeah, in that
bar,
one
and it's a
bar.
big bar,
yeah.
but like the way they poured beers was fucking terrible, dude. Like, and they're regulars, and they're paying however much for these fucking just foam. Like nobody taught them. You got to fucking pour it on the side and just
Yeah, you do
casually,
the
like,
tilt,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But
yeah.
I don't know. So that's my $1 million idea. I think, or
That's a
billion.
$1 million
Who knows? I think it'd be
All
cool.
right.
Or fucking, eat at Jack Rabbit Slims. I always thought that would be the cool. Like if you did it from
There's
movies,
gotta
that
a
would be
place
way more.
kind of like that exists too.
There's like 50s diners, but not
Yeah.
like Jack Rabbit Slims. You know.
I want to have black and white dinner, like American History X in that. I want to have that. I
Just
wanna
argue
have
about
that,
yeah, like
see this? I mean, you see this half a Louis face? It means not welcome. All right. Before we're fucking an hour.
All right,
half-
so is this
before
gonna
we
be
slip
part
into the
one?
Patreon, yeah, this will be part one. I want to give you my $1 million idea, which I
wait.
ran-
So
okay,
is that,
sorry.
was that? Hold on. Was that part one?
Yes.
And then this is going to be part two.
Yeah, we're gonna stop for a second, and then
Right.
and then
So
the part two
can
will
we,
be
like,
in the Patreon.
Can you and I like take a break for 1 second
Yes,
so I
yes,
can like
yes.
take a piss? And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
do
of course.
the- Okay. All right.
But
awesome.
first of all, shout out to Zach Hartwig, our first official fucking Patreon member.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, for
We got
real.
one?
I think so, unless I
you,
didn't.
Zach.
I read the email. I read like the highlight of the
incredible.
email. I think he is. Whatever. If he's not, shout out Zach.
Thank you, Zach. I
Yeah.
think that's fucking dope.
Keep it
I'm-
going,
I-
man, because we're doing. If you like this, we're doing a whole other show after this. It's like the the after show, I guess. I don't know. We're splitting them
The
in
after
two.
party.
And, we gotta fucking make an exclusive content.
Right.
And it'll be harder to hit us if it's behind a paywall. Because someone's like, we're going to take these guys down. Then they're like, it's $3. What the fuck?
Yeah, no,
Never
fuck
mind.
that.
All right, so that's your brilliant idea. So I wanted to give Zach a shout out. And if you become a Patreon member, you get double the Thurman and Lala every week, and you get a fucking shout out on the show. And
Shit, you're not going to find anywhere else. We'll
No.
give you a shout out. We'll send
We'll come up with
fucking
different tiers. I don't really remember what I did. Yeah, we'll shoot you merch. We'll do
I like
whatever.
your $1 million tier idea, by the way.
Yeah, where you get the
You-
hard
there-
drive
these-
of all the old ones. Yeah. And you have to
but
sign an NDA.
Sign an NDA because we can't have any of that
You
shit
listen
going
to
out
it once,
now.
then it has to be destroyed.
All right, I'm going to go take a piss.
Wait,
thank you.
wait. Oh, I got my
What?
$1 million idea.
I thought this was part 2.
No, this is where we're going into part 2, and I wanted to give Zach a shout out and give you my $1 million
okay.
idea
I like this.
before we
Okay.
did this.
All right.
All
Sorry,
right.
guys.
ZZ Topless.
I'm an old man.
ZZ Topless. And it's like the bearded woman mixed with like a titty bar, mixed with a tribute band. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Sleazy
bearded
top,
women
yeah.
with fucking big titties, and they are a ZZ Top cover band. It's called ZZ Topless. And it's like straight ghetto clown shit. Like fucking the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus is just a truck we drive around, and then we pull a lever and it opens up into a stage. It's like real ghetto carny shit. And the Klan will fucking love it.
They will. They totally will.
ZZ
I love
Topless.
that. I love that.
All right, so now that that's on the record. All right, so fucking
All
go
right.
subscribe to Patreon if you want the rest of this shit. If not, we'll see you cheap bastards next week.
Yeah, fuck you. Give us money.
Follow the Thurman and Lala podcast at www.thermopolis.com.